How's your jig head minnow game? Introducing Ducket Fishing's Sway Minnow System. Not just a bait, an entire fishing system. Perfectly balanced jig heads in several fish catching sizes, matched up with the most realistic looking winged minnow baits that you've ever seen. With multiple size baits and jig head weights, you'll be able to figure out the perfect presentation. Check out the Ducket Fishing Sway Minnow System by going to ducketfishing.com. We're talking to Matt Pangrac. He is the host of BTL. I'm going to proclaim you Commissioner of Bass Fishing. If you're not familiar with my show, we do this from time to time. We do a commissioner show where we do this kind of stuff. But anyway, I want to proclaim you Commissioner of Bass Fishing. Okay. Make whatever sweeping changes that need to be made, and let's hear what you got.
So regardless of what organization it is, there needs to be two words that every decision when it comes to tournament fishing is based on. And those two words are fair and equal. And regardless of what organization you fish for, over the last specifically 2 or 3 years, it seems like there's been a lot of decisions that have been made to placate one section of the anglers or to solve one problem without looking at the effects of that decision. And if you take a step back and you say fair and equal, and that's for everybody that is paying an entry fee into that tournament, that's all we ask for. I think if you took the Toyota Series, the Bassmaster Opens, the Invitationals, the BPT, and the Elite Series, there's not a single person that would say, I do not want to compete under a fair and equal playing field. If I was a commissioner, I would look at every rule that I have in it. I would look at every decision that is made, and I would base or change those decisions on, is this fair and equal for the entire field? That's what I would do.
How simple? How simple? Mm-hmm. What I mean, yeah, it makes too much sense. It makes too much sense, and it's pretty clear that I'm not really sure how decisions are being made in some of the organizations. Well, because they've all done something controversial recently, and they all seems to be a yearly occurrence, and fair and equal. You know, you have
and it's difficult because you've got, both of the major organizations are for-profit businesses.
Yeah.
And that's something, as I've gotten older and gotten into this, I've been on the short end of that, and I've been on the receiving end of that. But it is a business that is for profit. We are customers of the organization, regardless of which organization or both organizations that you fish for. So they're going to make decisions where they say, we know that you guys don't like this, but this is a business decision that we have to make on our end. And then as anglers, it is our decision to determine where we want to take that business.
Yep. That is correct. That is correct. While we're on the subject of Bass Commissioner, each of the national tours is going to proclaim that their Angler of the Year this coming year is the world champion. Mm-hmm. And my question is, as a commissioner, how in the world, or can we ever come up with a system that unifies and produces a single Angler of the Year?
I mean, the closest we've come to it would be the TTBCs, where they took, back in the day, the top 15 on the FLW, the top 15 from BASS, and the top 15 from the PAA. They put them together in the Toyota Texas Bass Classic, and you had a winner that was like that. But I think it's great debate. I mean, you've got a podcast, I've got a podcast. There's tons of shows out there. I think that one of the beautiful things about fishing, where there's different rules from different organizations, is on any day you can have an angler who beats another angler. Like if you take individual sports, like, dude, I could go out and beat Jacob Wheeler tomorrow in an 8-hour tournament. Like it's unlikely, but I could do it. If I went on the golf course, I'm never beating Scotty Scheffler. If I went on the tennis, I'm never beating any other individual sport. But in fishing, I think that it's really hard to determine who is number one because there's so many uncontrollable variables in the game. I think that's what makes it difficult to proclaim the top, but that's also what makes it like so beautiful and so mind blowing. And that's why so many of us are so obsessed with it too, because we can get better and we can have those perfect days in fishing when you literally know like there's no one else that can beat me on the lake.
Well, on our website, I tried this a couple of years where I just kept track of
Mm-hmm.
every tournament possible, and had this unbelievable database of everybody's performance. And I think in 2023, Dakota Iber was our Angler of the Year because he just did everybody. And then oh gosh, I should remember who our 2024. Anyway, I'm not doing it this year because it just is too much work.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's just too much work. But there'd be great if there'd be a way to combine all
They
the.
used to have a website. I know it went under, but it literally like from the any like they did BFLs, they did ABAs, they did everything. They weighted it based on where you finished, based on how many people were in the field, based on how much weight you had. They had it for each state. I'm trying to remember what the name of the website was, but you could like literally go in and type in all these things, and it would give you a list of every single angler. And it was really cool. I just don't think it generated enough revenue to make it viable.
Well, as someone who tried to make that happen, I can tell you it did not generate enough. That wasn't my site, but my site did a similar thing, and it was just a matter of something that I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed following. But it just at some point, it's too mind boggling.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe someday we could we could we could find a sponsor and invite the top X number of anglers from each tour to compete in a series of events or something like that. But I just there's part of me that just wants to know who the top angler of the year is.
Mm-hmm. And now with the difference in the technology, it'd be really hard too. So like then when you get that together, like with the elites, do you allow them all to have one transducer? Do you do it half the time? Do you do it one period? Do you not do it? Like there's so many different variables in it now. I mean, I think it would be really hard to. I mean, in my opinion, right now, just as like a take a media guy's hat, like I think there's not much discussion right now. Like Jacob Wheeler is number one.
Yeah, I can agree with that, and I think most
Uh,
people can. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean for a decade plus, it was KVD. Uh, you know, is would that be consensus with Wheeler? I think the majority of the guys would say. I mean, he's number one.
Yeah. Yeah, but in terms of angler of the year,
Yeah,
who had the best year? Anyway, it's one of those things.
yeah.
I'm Keith Neiswanger. This is the Bass Two Anglers podcast. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you'd like to reach us, please send us a direct message on Instagram at Bass Tour Anglers Podcast. Take care. Be safe. We'll talk to you next time.